Hey guys, it's me, Aliana B, and I'm here with a history lesson for you today. That's right. Nestled right here in Appalachia in western Pennsylvania, Johnstown, Pennsylvania is known for three things: steel, struggle, and floods, which is how we got our nickname, Flood City. On the night of May 31st, 1889, in what many believe was a preventable disaster,
That morning, George T. Swank, the editor and proprietor of the Johnstown Tribune, worked on his journal. He had seen Johnstown underwater before, but nothing like this. From his second-story office window, he had observed people being rescued in boats and livestock being swept down the street by a current, which had turned the streets into rivers.
at the South Fork Hunting and Fishing Club in South Fork, Pennsylvania, that was there for the Pittsburgh elites to enjoy time away from the city. We're talking about the Carnegies, the Mellons, and they were the folks that were responsible for keeping maintenance on the dam. Well, it's widely known that the officers of the club knew that the dam was potentially going to break. Nothing was ever done, no consequences ever arose from it. But on May 31st, 1889,
Streams were forming that had never been seen before. Rivers were rising at better than a foot an hour. In Johnstown, there was water in the streets, and though this was not new, this time things were more ominous.
after heavy rainpour, the dam did break, allowing over 20 million tons of water to rush down through the valley, take out and destroy everything in its path. People weren't just lost in the floodwaters. There were piles of debris that were on fire in the floodwaters that were capturing people. So people were unfortunately burned in fires on the water swell. In the 1889 flood, 2,200 people lost their lives. Some never accounted for. And just another fact to add in there is that the American Red Cross, their very first flood disaster experience in providing relief was here in Johnstown, Pennsylvania.
Historic Johnstown is the hardest hit of all. The waters are rising rapidly. Rumors fly that the huge dam is going out. The word comes, tens of thousands are fleeing in terror. They have horrible memories of the last great catastrophe. Their only refuge is the hills.
So then in 1936, another flood occurred. This flood resulted in the death of around 24 people. However, Johnstown also has the world's steepest vehicular incline plane. Which is an incline plane that goes up the mountain. It was built in 1891 to transport wagons and workers from the valley up to the top of the hill where some people lived at the time, or many people lived at the time. So in the 1936 flood, because the incline plane was there, 4,000 people were able to be carried to safety during that flood. So it resulted in less devastation, less loss of lives, but still, again, Johnstown was taken out. And this also sparked some national outrage, which led to the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers being able to take over emergency management for disasters. So they were able to start building levees and help with reconstructing dams, and that is what the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers is still doing today. So after the 1936 flood, it was quiet again for another 40, 50 years. And then all of a sudden, 2 days after my second birthday, on July 19th, 1977, another flood hits Johnstown.
They said it would never happen again, but it did. Torrential thunderstorms soaked the area late yesterday, and by early this morning, it was impossible to reach what has come to be known as the Flood City. Early last evening, it looked like just another rain, but soon sewers could no longer handle the crush. Water backed up behind the bridges where debris had jammed, and the flood of '77 in Johnstown had begun.
Another one. And this one resulted in the loss of roughly 80 lives. So, little piece of history, Johnstown, Pennsylvania, my hometown. We are known, like I said, for steel, but we are really known for floods. And this little piece of Appalachia feels like everybody else, lost, forgotten. We don't have any major roads or highways coming here to help us with industry. So, but if you're looking for somewhere to visit, there is a ton of history here. There's a flood museum. There is so many recreational activities here. If we can get it cleaned up, Johnstown is a beautiful place to visit. And I might add, has some of the best non-chain restaurants that I've ever been to when I travel. So that's all.